Hey everybody, welcome back to Andertons TV. I hope you're enjoying all the videos that are going up this weekend in association with ESP Guitars. In this next video, ESP artists Jamie Hunt and Pat Heath are doing a style study and a tribute to the recently departed Alexi Laiho. So please take it away, Jamie and Pat.
Style study, Alexi Laiho.
Yes.
You did this.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing with Alexi's writing style is that there's a ton of influences there. You can kind of hear the cool bands that he's listened to and taken influence from. And that's blended with the music he's written across the years. It's kind of found this cool middle ground of, this is what I'm into, here's my thing. And you can totally hear the kind of tipping of the hat to those different cool influences and players and bands that have influenced that melting pot.
Pick bits out.
Best bits.
Yeah.
Make it heavier.
And made it his own.
Made it lower, made it heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so drop C tuning for this one.
Yeah.
To get that weight and chunk into what's going on.
And just to point out, though, be careful if you've got 9 gauge strings or even 10 gauge when you tune down on this, because when you hit the strings, I think we were flying on the seat on the edge with the track, with the playthrough. It's just like, it's kind of a cool sound, but sometimes when you hit a note, it'll go slightly sharp. Yeah.
It's kind of a cool effect.
So it's quite cool. It's kind of chorusy, but just be careful. Yeah.
But yeah, in a mix amongst other things that aren't going out of tune like that and sharp and flat.
Like a really good bass player.
And also, like you said, the thin strings, it starts to feel a bit like spaghetti.
Yeah.
You know, when the tension drops out, the lower you go, obviously. So think about a chunky set of strings, which obviously you can order.
Yeah.
From a convenient music store called Andertons.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
drop C.
Drop C. So we've got all that nice kind of power chord riffing with the single thing like we've seen in other tracks. Yeah, what's cool about it is that, again, with power chords on those low strings, we've got that low tuning obviously, but you can get all those power chords just kind of moving one finger at a time. As long as you get your bottom 2 or 3 strings, you're still in power chord mode. So one of the riffs in the track is all about using that kind of approach, the kind of offer that this tuning's got for us. So really playing off
grinding.
Yeah, getting those little phrases going on.
Cool. Yeah, excellent. And then I noticed in the chorus section, when you sent this track over to me, there's some really cool hanging chords that suddenly come through. There's a little bit of keyboards, because Alexi was a big fan of putting keyboards in his tracks, which gave it, well, his music part of his sound, really.
Yeah.
So, big part of his sound. But you put these open chords in, it was kind of... What are you doing there? Because that's not a power chord, is it?
No, it's an inversion of a major chord, in fact. So, starting with a power chord here, but there. In fact, what I've done, it's like a root in third of that chord, but instead of going root, third going higher, it's third going lower. So
or like an augmented power chord.
Yeah,
that's the easiest way to see it.
Yeah.
But and it's really good under the root note, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, exactly. Now what Alexi tends to do with a lot of his sort of chorus sections particularly, you get all the kind of chugging in the riffing, you get high speed sections, you know, all that kind of stuff. Then you get halftime riffs going on, but in his choruses he tends to open it right up. Right. So you get that big lush melody. So he'll go for more of a chordal approach on those parts. So here we've got this progression. So you get those nice ringing chords, but then you always go, okay, you need to know that the riff's still there. So it kind of leans back on a riff that you're familiar with. So you get that bit, back to that familiar, back to our big chords. So then you get that really lush melody. You get that balance of melody in your vocal part, your hooky vocal line, then your heavy riff parts. It's never far away. If you just stay with the melody, it might get a little bit diluted, but it's kind of like, okay, how do I get that big sound, keep the riff in there in the groove? And then often, when you've got choruses, if you repeat the same thing over and over, it kind of loses its momentum and kind of doesn't sound so exciting. So often around that third cycle, he drops in a little tweak to the harmonies just to keep that interest in there.
Very clever songwriting.
Yeah, so this progression, we've kind of taken that idea. We take the same two chords, new chord, which takes us back to our final cycle.
So you came to me with that progression, and you were doing something slightly higher, orchestrating it, and then I adapted it for the way that I could hear. So maybe we should go through those chords just really quickly.
So you play your part again.
First.
Cool. So I'm doubling that. Third cycle. Take the same idea.
So I'm going low and cool sort of vibrato, trying to do that on the low string. And what are you doing? You're orchestrating much higher.
Yeah,
with
it's
similar
continue
harmony.
ascending. So it's almost like a contrary motion thing. We're in parallel.
Yeah.
And then as you go down, I go higher. And we get kind of differences. And what's cool about that, you can hear that in players like Jason Becker as well, where often we get used to hearing harmony stuff. So obviously, Alexi, you can hear in the earlier riffs in this track even fixed harmonies.
Contrary motion.
But contrary motion, one goes up, one goes down. And what's cool about that is you're never at the same interval between one set note. They're all diatonic, they all harmonise, which means from the same key, but they're different distances apart every time because we're going like that as the notes go in different directions. So they harmonise, but from a different point on every note in the phrase, which keeps it fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
So we just cycle it one more time.
Yeah, cool.
Can hear it.
Yeah, cool.
Just that third cycle.
One.
In fact, let's go from the start so we can hear it all.
Cool.
2, 3, 4. Heavy riff. One through motion this time. Here we go. Keeps that interest. That's our riff.
Tight.
Nice.
Nice, good. And he did all that while singing or growling.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
It's that kind of splitting the brain into lots of different departments to do different jobs. Yeah. I mean, it's tricky enough to play that as a single guitar, but to mirror and harmonise with a second guitar player and a keyboard and then sing a separate vocal melody over the top. That's clever stuff. Clever stuff.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. So, main riff. Have a quick look at that.
So again, with this riff, it's one of the pacier ones on the track, and it's again look at where Alexi writes things. often kind of doubling up riffs with the two guitars to make it really chunky and powerful, and then splitting and taking that idea of the influence again, almost like Maiden-esque harmonies, just to create a little interest at the ends of the phrases. So do you want to play your version and I'll put my harmony over the top?
Yeah. So I'm going. And that's very Maiden.
Yeah,
very. In fact, it's like Aces High.
Yeah, exactly. So that rhythm. And against that, so we're doubling that up. Instead of doubling the thing to keep it interesting, kind of split into that kind of bigger orchestrated sound.
So that's the Dave Murray harmony.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
So let's just play the harmony notes again, just the harmony bits. So you're diddle it, 2, 3, 4.
You sound like the Trooper.
Exactly, yeah.
Should we play the riff together quickly?
Let's put the riff at the front.
1, 2, 3, 4. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So that riff at the end, that's quite. Kind of reminds me of Dimebag. The riff in the middle of.
Again, it's that influence thing. Like
yeah. That's what you're doing. It's kind of. Riffs like that remind me of the middle of This Love. You know, that amazing middle 8 riff that's like on the it's a standout riff on the album. It's once. Oh, let's put that in the middle 8.
And Alexi had this gift of going, right, that's the thing that makes that song work. That's the thing that makes that band or act have their sound, and could take those little ingredients, drop it into his own thing, and just completely have his own thing with it. But take the cool bits, it's like all the things that you love about metal, it's there in his tracks.
Yeah, wicked, excellent. Thanks for that, Jamie. Really cool. Style study, Alexi Laiho.
Dig it.